Hi, everybody. My name's June. I'm a radio DJ. I've been a radio DJ for over 2 decades now. And in those 2 decades, I've met very, very interesting people that have something very valuable to say. And so I chat with my friend Chong, who's in Texas right now. And I said, Chong, can I make an intro? Can we talk? You talk to me on air? And Chong,
Right? Sure.
okay, yeah, exactly. But Chong also said it should be a video. And that's exactly why we're here now with my hair done and everything. And so, friends, I wanna introduce you. This is a first for me, by the way, doing a video, a video component to the interview. So I want to properly introduce you, Chong. Chong's an assistant professor at the University of the Philippines Diliman College of Fine Arts, a political cartoonist, an animator, and a Fulbright scholar who right now is based in Texas, as I mentioned earlier, pursuing his PhD in fine arts. Chong Ardevilla, everybody. Hi, Chong.
Hi, hey June. Let me clarify. It's Fulbright Ched.
Oh,
So
Fulbright Shed. Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
I have to say that part of the reason I'm here is because of the support of the Commission on Higher Education in the Philippines. So thanks, Chad.
Thanks, Shed. My friend's awesome, and you just made him even more awesome. Flew him to flew him to the middle of nowhere. Tell me about
Right.
you, Chong. Just
So
very quickly.
yeah, so I'm taking up my PhD in fine arts in Lubbock, Texas. A PhD in fine arts is a rare course. I think there are only about seven
Wow.
universities in America or North America that offer it, and the oldest one still existing is in Lubbock, Texas. So that's why I'm here. But Lubbock, Texas, Lubbock itself is not a well-known place. It's not Houston, it's not Dallas, it's not Austin, it's Lubbock. Let me just tell you, Lubbock is so far away that one of the cities near to us is Roswell, New Mexico.
Oh, wait. Roswell. Isn't that like a
Yes,
TV show?
that's a TV show about alien sightings.
Oh, whoa.
Right. So that's how isolated we are, that the visitors we get here are aliens. So,
God, that's so freaky.
I mean, it's cool. You know, so I grew up in Cebu,
Oh,
and
yeah. I was meaning to let you mention that too.
I am a Sacred Hearter, but I took my college degree in UP Diliman. So from 1995 onwards, I was in Manila. Can you imagine being in Manila for that long? And Manila has a population of what, 12 million?
Mm-hmm.
And here I am in Lubbock with a population of what, 300,000?
Are you serious?
Something like that. So maybe that's just one barangay in Quezon City. I'm not sure, but so it's a paradigm shift from Manila, the very crowded Manila, to open spaces here in Lubbock, Texas.
Yes, but you know, I'm dragging you into this whole conversation is because you're one of the people who have something valuable to say. 2020, Chong, was like a difficult year for everyone, but it was also like an epiphany year for some. Some people were able to do some self introspection. And so we're at the end of the year. We're recording this at least at the end of the year. And people who will be listening to this on the radio will perhaps be hearing this on the new year. So I'm thinking, what is it that you want to share with everybody?
I like it that you mentioned self introspection. So 2020, although it's a very horrible year, it forced a number of us to go into places or hobbies that we never really considered. So I've seen posts of people baking.
Uh-huh. That's
So
a very
that's
common one.
cool,
Yeah.
right? And a lot of my friends and relatives have become plantitos or plantitas. So developing a green thumb, that's good for the ecology, right? That's
Yes, you
great.
have to add milk tea.
Yes, milk tea, my goodness. And that's a rarity here in Lubbock, Texas. It
Good.
is. I'm willing to murder for milk tea. No, I'm joking. So, but if one word is to describe 2020, for me, it's monstrous, because you have the fires in Australia, the volcanic, well, activity from Taal, the current pandemic. It's not, even though that there's a vaccine right now, a lot of the experts project that the COVID-19 will be with us for a long time.
Yeah, for a few more years, right?
Yeah, for a few more years, it'll be part of our reality. So 2020 is a shift of that reality because of these monstrous things. And for this session between you and
Hmm.
I thought it would be a great thing to talk about because this will be played right during Friday, I
Yes,
assume.
this is going to be
So
played on Magic.
yes, what kind of songs will you play? I mean, what
We're going
decade?
to be playing on Fridays on Magic, call it Friday Madness, and that's when we play songs from the 90s until the year 2010.
So it's great because that's our that's our growth years, right? So if I'm looking back,
Okay, we're dating. You're dating ourselves, Sean. You're dating you and me.
yeah, but June, let's not go there. Let me just say I was in high school when Ramos was president. So that's a long time ago. I mean, when I was in high school, the slogan was Philippines 2000. And now we're in 2020, 2000.
Exactly.
So yeah,
Exactly.
it's interesting that 2020 is a monstrous year, and this is a show about quote nostalgia end quote. And I suggested to June that we should talk about music and music videos that are associated with monsters from that era, 90s and early 2000s. So yeah, so I suggested that we should open the song with one of my favorite is Annie Lennox, Love Song for a Vampire. I did mention this before that I want this to be my wedding march, which will not
Ooh.
happen. Which will not happen, June. I don't think I'll get married. So
Okay.
I'm the type of person that I hope to die inside a classroom, or if I die inside my place, I have cats to eat my cadaver.
Oh
So
my gosh. That is, we just turned really dark there.
yeah, no, if you're my friend, guys, I'm sorry. I apologize for that. I have gallows humor. It's a way of coping. So, and yeah, it has been a dark year. So dark humor can be a coping mechanism for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I really like this song. It's an interesting song. It's from Francis Ford Coppola's movie of Bram Stoker's Dracula. And yeah, vampires are a thing for centuries. And what I love about this film was in the early 90s. So this was way before the Twilight invasion.
Hmm.
So I don't know, June, have you read or seen the Twilight films?
I'm really sorry. I'm going to apologize for all the Twilight fans out there because I think I probably just saw one and I was like half asleep because I was so tired. So, no, I haven't really seen it. What about you?
No. You're lucky you fell asleep or half asleep. I lost a bet, so I
Oh,
had to
really?
watch,
Okay.
and I almost tore up the cinema from my complaints. Look, okay, let me just preface. I know many of your listeners are fans of Twilight, and that's good. But I have a problem when you guys expect that vampires are like sparkly creatures that shine in daytime. Vampires are monsters, man. They're monsters. Remember that. And they have power over you. The only thing that they don't like would be like crucifix, garlic, and sunrise. But
Hmm.
here in Twilight, Stephanie Meyer made the vampires sparkle.
Yeah, romanticize the vampire, right?
Yeah, and for me, vampires are interesting considering what they are culturally. So part of my studies is the field of cultural studies, in which we try to look at the media products from different cultures, from different times, and connect that with why are they emergent? Why is this monster present? Because as I discussed with you, June, before, that all cultures have monsters, but different cultures would have different monsters. I mean, why would the manananggal exist in the Filipino culture and you don't see that in North American culture?
Yeah, I always wondered that. Like, hey, how come the Manananggal doesn't come out in like American films, American
Because,
horror
yeah,
films?
because for them, it would come out as a weird monster because they cannot relate to it because all monsters are cultural products. So we grew up with stories and the stories inform us of our culture. So it's interesting that I start with a love song for a vampire because although vampires have existed in different iterations for centuries before, it is the novel Bram Stoker's Dracula that solidified what a vampire is for much of popular culture. And it's interesting that Twilight made the vampire figure as romantic. The vampire is a predator, and
True.
it's a sexual predator. I mean, they bite you at the tongue, I mean, at the neck.
Mm-hmm.
So there's penetration involved. And there's a draining of bodily fluids, which we'll discuss because we don't want MTRCB cutting us off.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
but that is
so,
true. And I didn't even think it
vampires.
that way.
Sorry, June, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, I was just saying that is so true. And I never even thought about it that way.
Yeah, because vampirism is a very sexual form of monstrosity. It involves contact with the body. It involves the vulnerable sexual parts of the body, the neck, the inner thigh, where the arteries are. So if you bite it, you have the arterial spray.
Mm-hmm.
So more blood to drink. And that's why Bram Stoker, I find it interesting that Bram Stoker's Dracula is actually, if you take a look at it, it's a very xenophobic novel. So xenophobic means you're against foreigners, you're against outsiders.
Yeah.
So among the victims in Bram Stoker's Dracula, her name is Lucy Westerna, which is a strong-willed flirt of a woman. And spoiler alert, she died. She was bitten by a vampire. She was drained by a vampire. So that itself is a quote lesson because if you take a look at the word monster, the etymology for that, one of the etymology or the roots of the word monster means warning, maneo, is to warn. So the culture would create all these monsters to warn us, which is interesting. And that's why maybe after this talk, maybe you should think about what are the monsters you grew up with and why. Why these monsters? And research online what are the other weird monsters. So we have the manananggal, which is considered weird by outside cultures. And you have this monster, I forgot the name in Indonesia, which is basically a floating head with her intestines dangling from her neck.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's another version of their manananggal.
Yeah, but this is just the head.
So yeah, so that's why, well, Love Song for a Vampire is a song of longing and maybe also a song of willingness for you to subject yourself to
Oh,
such
wow.
pain, I guess. Anna Lennox is amazing.
She is. I truly love her. I truly
And
do.
I bet, yep, sorry.
Go ahead.
I bet you guys may have not heard this song for years. I mean, I don't know if the song has been played on the radio, but I remember,
Not as much. Not as much.
not as much, but I remember back in the 90s, I would call the radio stations and they would play it. They played it. So yeah,
All right.
so
So since we played it for everybody, just want everybody to know as well that we're going to be featuring songs that are related to monsters today, and these are all of Chong's choices of songs.
yes, ma'am.
Definitely. So we're gonna pause for a break now. So this is all about monsters and perhaps how we should look forward to in 2021. So please stay with us, everybody.